What's going on, everyone? It's your boy back at you again with another Tommy Reads X-Men. Today, we are looking at X-Men number 41 from February 1968, written by Roy Thomas with art by Don Heck, and Warner Roth does the backup story. This is called Now Strikes the Subhuman. We'll get to who he is in a minute. Anyway, actually, you know what? Let's get to him right now, because we kick it off with the Subhuman. He's this dude coming out of the subway, and now he kind of looks... I'm not gonna lie, he looks like a He-Man character because he's got the kind of bob haircut. It looks kind of like the wife Debra from Everybody Loves Raymond. He also has like a He-Man outfit. Just so happens that Bobby and Hank are on that subway with their dates. And the lights go out, everything stops, and in the confusion, they're like, let's go investigate. So they go investigate, and rather than, the art of subtlety, Hank decides, I see this dude, I'm gonna punch him. And instead of punching him, he get punched. I don't know why Hank always charges in first and always gets KO'd first, but, we'll get to that later. So the fight lasts a good long while, like at least 2 or 3 pages. And then at the end, the Subhuman's just like, I'm bored of this. And then he walks off into the tunnels of the subway. Now, while he's walking away, he decides to start monologuing to himself. And then we get his whole flashback. He's from a race of people that lived in the center of the earth. That is a popular from back in the day trope of, that Jules Verne center of the earth nonsense. Anyway, they've done it at least a few times in these X-Men. But, he's from the center of the earth. His name is Prince Gartok, and his people lived comfortably in the center of the earth for millions of years while people here were fighting dinosaurs or whatever. Then a volcano erupts and forces his people to come up topside to the earth, where War of the World style, the atmosphere kills them. And for some reason, he blames it on radiation, which really had nothing to do with the story other than we're gonna, talk about radiation bad. So he's the last one left. He's blaming the human race for his people dying, not, the simple-ass air or water, but whatever. And since he's not human, he decides to call himself the Subhuman. He gave himself that name. Back at the X-Mansion, you wonder, what's the rest of the team doing? Now, they're training, and they get put through the exercises and stuff, which is what training is, and Angel and Jean take 8 whole seconds to get something done, and Papa Chuck explodes on them. He's like, what? If that was a villain, y'all would... How'd you like to be dead? Okay? 8 seconds. Now, I'm thinking reading it, 8 seconds ain't a long time, but you know what? This is a long time. How'd you like to be dead? Yeah, they would straight up be dead if they wasted all that time doing whatever it was. It was like jumping through a hoop or something. Bobby and Hank show up. Papa Chuck's going off. He yells at them because they're out of uniform entering the danger room. You kick your shoes off and respect your sensei at the dojo. You know what I'm saying? Like a little bow or whatever. And so he's like, you know what? Y'all on punishment. You can't go out for 6 weeks. And they're like, what? Mind you, Hank's already 26. And what's he doing? Listen to the professor still? He's a kid. Bobby probably is 19 or 20 at this point, something like that. I think we celebrated his birthday a few issues back. But they start telling the rest of the X-Men what's going on about this dude they ran into and blah, blah, blah. And the professor's like, y'all go check it out. Jean's gonna stay here with me. We working on some stuff. Don't worry about what it is. Don't you ever question me. I'm Papa Chuck and y'all. Some scientists who are doing scientist things. Now, they're doing rumblings in the Earth's terrain with some kind of weird, laser drill thing that scientists tend to do in these early Marvel things, and they're calling it a nuclear oscillotron. So, it has, nuclear capabilities, and they're drilling it into the center of the Earth. Why? Reasons. We don't get that. They're just so they can. That draws the attention of the Subhuman, who, like I said before, has some weird thing against radiation, even though radiation isn't what killed his people. But he starts investigating this drill, and he's like, ah. Now, Papa Chuck tells the X-Men, go check it out. And he's like, but Jeannie's staying here with me. Now, Scott's like, what is this, like a Mr. Steal Your Girl thing? Is Charles moving in on my lady, who's not really my lady? But, you know, everybody knows I love me some Jeannie and she loved me some me, but we ain't talking about, you know, the whole soap opera is going through his head because he thinks Charles is making a move on Jean. He don't do nothing about it. He just leaves. He's like, ah, well, you know, she's choose who she wants to, and if it's not me, he's like crying in his, you know, get to, the X-Men catch up with the Subhuman, who's at this point beating the crap out of these scientists. And right away, Beast jumps in, feet and fists first, and he's like, I want to go at this guy, and then boom, he gets knocked out. Now, if he's the intellectual of the group, hear me out. If he's the intellectual of the group, why is he doing dumb stuff like this? Why is he going in punching first? You'd think he would think of like, oh, you know, there's a smarter way to approach this, but nah, he's just like, you know, going full on bro. Like Beast's character's all over the board. So they find the Earth drill, and for some reason Papa Chuck ain't talking to him. Like his mental is off, and the watch they gave him to communicate him ain't working. So Cyclops, you know, says, Angel, Iceman, you guys go investigate, go find Charles. Professor X, I'm sorry, I call him Charles behind his back. He don't like that. But Professor X and Hank and I will stay here in case, and no sooner did they leave, and no sooner did he finish his long-winded sentence, than the Subhuman showed up, and they're about to fight, again, after, you know, he sucker punched Hank and ran, and they're about to fight again, and that's where we end the main story. Let's go to the backup. So the backup story, we continue with Scott's, you know, young Scott and Jacko Diamonds. If you remember last issue, if not, check it out. It was a pretty good issue, except for the backup story, kinda. Anyway, you'll see. Check it out. Trust me. Trust your boy. So the backup story, this one's called The Living Diamond. And Jacko Diamonds and Scott are going back to the lab because Jack wants to turn himself, you know, if it turned his hands diamond, which his hands are diamond, spoiler, in case you haven't seen the last issue. And Professor X is about to fight him. Jack basically takes out this beam in a building. The building comes crashing down. Charles, Scott wants to help him, thinks he's killed. They teleport out to the lab. Now, by the time they get to the lab, Charles, who's perfectly all right, is already there. Now, he can't teleport. He can read minds, maybe use a little telekinesis, but he can't certainly lift himself faster than they could teleport there. So I don't know how he's getting there. Like, is someone driving the Rolls Royce? Is he in the jet? You know, the whole backup story, that's the thing that I'm wondering the most, which says a lot about the backup story. So basically what happens is he mentally communicates with Scott, tells him, hey, I can help you in your situation. Jack used some weird laser gun to turn himself into the Living Diamond. So from Jacko Diamonds to the Living Diamond, in 2 issues, he gets 2 different nicknames. He's a lame villain, and yet this story continues on. Let me hit you with some final thoughts. All right, y'all, this one was about a 5.5 out of 10, and I'll tell you why. It was boring. In both the main and the backup story, the villains are lame. Like, I don't care about this He-Man / Debra from Everybody Loves Raymond looking, named the Subhuman, and I don't care about Jacko Diamonds / the Living Diamond. You know, maybe he'd be a great villain for Jay-Z, but he ain't here because Jay-Z was in that Diamond video. That dun, 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 dun. Anyway, go see that Martin movie, which is name I'm forgetting. Jean and the Professor, their little sub-story is probably the only exciting thing that's happening while this issue was going on. And as a teaser, the next issue says, join us for the death of Professor X. So we'll see what they were working on. Killing him? I don't know. If you like what you see or are mildly entertained, please like and subscribe down here. Hit that bell notification in the corner. I don't know exactly where it's at. If this is your first time coming to watch Tommy Loves X-Men or visiting the Tommy Loves Stuff channel, thank you. If it's your 50th time, awesome. I appreciate you just as much, if not more so. Thank you for your support. Anyway, come back next week. We'll have more X-Men. Later.